Hi, welcome to the 6th video in the Recall video series. Today we're out on our landing strip out here and I'm going to move to a 50-foot lead with Koji. So we've moved up from all the short tether, standard lead. We've done some distractions, some new environments, 15-foot lead, so now it's time to do a 50-foot lead. And like the others, you'll do a 50-foot lead. You can start off somewhere where it's relatively quiet and relatively low distractions. One or two things will happen. Your dog will run to the end of the lead, so make sure you're either standing on it, depending on how fast and hard your dog's going to go, you know your own dog, or actually got hold of it. And if your dog's going really hard, then allow the line to come out slowly, because you don't want the dog to get the end of it and really jerk on it, because you could get hurt or the dog could. With Koji, he stays pretty close and he stays really calm, so he doesn't tend to charge off. I've normally got to take him out the end of it to any of his leads, because for him, once he's on lead, that's it. He gets a little bit more excited when he's off lead in the yard or something, but on lead he won't wander too much. So generally, as you've seen, I've got to take him out, get him into position, come back, call him. A little bit painful sometimes because it takes a little longer, but that's simply how he likes it, and the only thing we're interested in here is the dog comes when it's called. That's it. So we'll be doing that out here. I'll just set things up in a moment and then we'll film him on a 50-foot lead. Like I said, either have it on the ground if you're really comfortable with your dog, or continue holding it and use the other commands to guide. Koji's exceptional now at just coming in. He knows that he's meant to go from A to B in a straight line. Doesn't tend to deviate even with distractions. So for this, I'll probably just leave this laying on the ground, and unless he does something untoward, in which case I'll pick it up and take control. So whether you've got it in your hand or on the ground will depend on your dog. Whether I suggest if you're not 100% sure, start with it on your hand. But start somewhere fairly quiet, and then, like all the others, you then want to take this to where there's more and more distractions. It's never enough to do it in a distraction-free or a low distraction area. Dog needs to be able to do this in high distraction, because that's when you're going to need it most. Alright, so we'll be back in a moment and we'll show you Koji on a 50-foot lead. Koji, Timmy! Good boy! Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good mate. Koji, Timmy! Good boy. Huh? Yes, good boy. Good mate. Koji, come out! Yes! Oh, hurry up! Come out! Yes! Good front. Good boy. Good mate. Alright, so the 50-foot lead is just exactly the same as before, except that we've got the lead. Now if your dog's really comfortable coming to you really easily, then as you can see, you just lay it on the ground. and you're worried about your dog suddenly taking off. Koji pretty much hangs around, even with the cattle, some cattle and that just over there. He doesn't worry too much. We spent a lot of time with calm on him, so he stays really calm around different things. And so often, you know, with this, you've seen me have to take him out and put him out to the end and then come back and call him, because he doesn't tend to wander too much, even with distractions. And like I said, a lot of that's got to do with I've spent a lot of time just with calming techniques on him to keep him nice and calm, and a lot of time with focus techniques so he stays very focused. So it's a point of getting him out. If they're quite happy just to wander off there, and some days he'll just wander off and to the end of the lead, and other days like today he won't. Really it depends on how much energy he's got at the time. It's nearly always pretty warm here this time of the year, so he doesn't go ballistic too often, except very, very early in the morning, and it's often a little too dark to film. So when they do that, just take them out to the lead and call them back. It's a recall that's important, and you just simply keep working on this at the 50-foot lead, just like you did with the other leads, until your dog just gets it 100% of the time. But it's no point just doing it where it's nice and quiet. You need to do it where there's lots of distractions as well. So he'll come out to different things when cattle are being moved or herded, and you know, there's cattle everywhere and there's other dogs and whatever, and he'll be doing it there as well. When we go into town and take him, he'll come in there as well, and we'll find a park or something there, and he'll do it there as well. The thing to remember when you've got your dog on a 50-foot lead or a 15-foot lead or whatever is, it's your responsibility to ensure that dog is not running into areas where there are people. So you see it so often with people on a long lead and their dog's running out 50-foot lead and getting in the way of other people, and they think that's okay. It's not. As dog owners, we have a total responsibility for our dogs. We need to ensure that they're not disturbing other people or getting in somebody's way. If somebody gets tangled up with the dog's lead and gets hurt, that's going to be on you. If somebody gets tangled up with the dog and your dog bites, you run a real risk of your dog being put to sleep. So it's not just a safety, you know, a responsible issue, it's a safety issue as well. The other thing is, a lot of people start with a 50-foot lead, and my whole scheme is starting on a tether, a very short tether. And the reason I do that is the dog can't make a mistake. If I start on a 5-6 foot lead, then as long as I'm doing my job, the dog can't fail. So it learns what recall is. There's no having to continually call, there's no making mistakes. The dog can't run out to one side, can't run off towards somewhere else. It's got 6 feet and I've got hold of that lead. Until it's 100% there is before I move on to the next lead, which is 15 feet, which again gives me very good control. But the dog at that point already understands recall, already understands that it is meant to come from point A to point B. And by the time I get the 50-foot lead, it's just to the dog, it's just, oh really? I'm doing this again? So that's the reason I start from a very short lead. I've had a lot of people say, well, you know, why not from a 50? Everybody starts from a 50. That's why. And a lot of people start from the 50 and then need to go electronic collars because the dog doesn't truly understand anyway, or they need that extra protection. All of my dogs over all the years, every one of them has had exceptional recall, and this is the way I've done it, and so this is the way I continue to do it. He will be the same. He will have exceptional recall by the time I'm finished. 100%? No, but then I don't class any dog as having 100% recall. I don't care how they've been taught, or whether they've got a stim collar on, or anything like that. There is no such thing as 100% recall, and I think it's always important that you understand that. There is always something that poses a risk to tip your dog over the edge where it won't listen anymore. So as long as you're aware of that, as long as you train for that, and then as long as you let the dog off in areas where the risk of them being, you know, tipped over that edge the safer your dog will be. Never assume, no matter what you're using, no matter how the dog's trained, that it guarantees 100% recall, because nothing truly does. And our next one, we'll start doing, Koji will be off lead, and we'll start in a safe area, and then eventually we'll move out into a big open area and we'll do recall there. Alright, hope that helps. Thank you.